Guys, I don't know what to say to you at the moment. I had a nice arrangement of news reports to come and bring to you, and I got to the report that I brought up just out of interest. Rare tsunami fish spotted off California coast. I brought up this report because I thought, maybe the fish looks like the fish from the iPet Goat 2 video. And look at it. Black and white striped fish. A rare tsunami fish has reappeared off the California coast. The fish is believed to have migrated from Japan to the west coast on tsunami debris that floated across the Pacific Ocean.
Seven ver black beak.
That's not right. That's not any of the fish that we have here.
This guy sticks out kind of like a sore thumb.
Ta and Lewis were diving in Del Monte when Ta came across the barred knife jaw in 2014. The fish is a native of Asia, but is believed to have traveled on debris across the Pacific following the 2011 tsunami in Japan, giving it the nickname the tsunami fish.
And it just took a couple years for that debris to wash across the Pacific.
I don't even know what to say, guys. I'm a little bit I don't even know what to say. The tsunami fish. The tsunami fish. Are you serious? Okay, let me calm down for a second. Organize myself because obviously you can tell that I'm a little bit concerned. Let's go to the point in this video where we see those fish. Let's see, is it a bit more forward? Oh, that's more forward, isn't it? Yep, it's more back. Sorry guys, obviously as I said I didn't prepare. There they are. The black and white fish. Now obviously we've got the same kind of reference to the sheep's head fish, Sheep's Head Bay, New York, but they live there, don't they? So I think it's a little bit more in your face that we have a fish that doesn't belong to the region that looks exactly like the black and white fish we see in the iPet Go 2 video, and they're calling it the tsunami fish off of California coast. And obviously if the 21st does bring the event of a volcanic eruption from Kilauea, we know that that event is linked to the Helena slump scenario, landslide into the ocean, tsunami. I'll bring you the rest of the report. The 21st of December, at the same time as looking out for Kilauea and the volcano eruption, is the deadline for the Congress to pass a bill to avoid government shutdown. Now, I don't know if they are going to be able to pass a bill by then. I don't think they are. The only reason I think that is because if there is a connection to the House and the 23rd, that would mean Congress would have to be in session on the 23rd. So if a deal isn't agreed by the 21st, it's likely that they would still be in session on the 23rd. The 23rd is a Friday. It's the last day they would have before they break up for Christmas, and then when they come back in the new year, they could then, pick up the funding of the government. However, because December the 21st is the last day, if they don't agree a funding bill by that time, obviously we have a partial government shutdown. So they'll be coming in maybe on the 22nd, try and do something on the 23rd, try and do something, and then maybe something happens on the 23rd. Looking at this scene here, I was also drawn to it because I'm just trying to look at different points in the video to see if I can find a date that corresponds with all the other dates in the beginning of the video. Looking at this scene here, the only thing I can really think about is the tally marks being meant in a different way. So where we would read this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, what I'm thinking is this is 1, 2, 1, 2, and then over. So 22 finished, 23rd the next day. Now I don't know if that's the correct way of reading it, but they've clearly, put a larger gap between these tally marks for a reason. They've repeated it over and over again, and I'm just thinking it's 2 and 2 as in 22, a line through it to say 22 is over, and that means we're looking at the 23rd. Again, we've got the shark in the background here, which is a representation of the submarine. You can just see the nose here, the eye there. This would be the gills, and the shark in the castle on the board has 1223 encoded into its body. And if this is saying 22 over, this would also be suggesting the 23rd. So again, we're looking at another representation of 23 there. US and South Korea failed to reach a deal on military cost sharing. So, you know, we were told by Donald Trump that the North Korea threat is over, but they've continued to expand their missile program, continued to develop nuclear weapons. The nuclear test site that appeared to be blown up actually wasn't. It was just a tunnel entrance, or at least only partially. It was partially blown up. And now South Korea and the United States can't agree on a spending, another spending bill going forward. So what then happens to the military alliance between the United States and South Korea? The United States, do they start pulling back? Obviously, if there's no agreement on how to fund the military there, that relationship will dissolve, and that just ties into the peace flag between South Korea and North Korea, and then war coming, and what looks like a representation of the Koreas as a whole coming out and saying, no, we're in peace, no nuclear. But you know, China and the United States seem to come and clash against each other at that point. Iran's nuclear cooperation with North Korea has been exposed, exact names and locations revealed. Now, it's no surprise to us because we've always believed that North Korea has been continuing with their nuclear program. I believe that Iran already has a nuclear weapon or several of them. And it goes with a theory that I put out, I think it was the beginning of the year, where I said that North Korea appears to be the testing ground, or appeared to be, put it in past tense, the testing ground for Iran. So when North Korea was doing all their nuclear testing and stuff like that, and they was doing their ballistic missile testing, my thoughts were that Iran was giving them the information for them to test in their country, obviously because they already had a situation that was untenable anyway, and Iran still had the nuclear deal at the time. So if Iran is basically the brains behind it and North Korea is the testing ground, they're kind of sharing information that way, and it just seems to be confirmed in this report that Iran and North Korea are working together in terms of their nuclear cooperation, and that would mean that there's an issue with both those countries, as we already know. Going back to the Hayabusa spacecraft that they said they landed on the Ryugu asteroid, Ryugu meaning rising sun, the two hoppers or space landers that they had on there, they were called Minerva, and I went into that. Minerva is the Roman goddess of wisdom and warfare, and it appears that they've just re-emphasized the fact that they are talking about that particular deity, because they've renamed Minerva 21A and 21B, which those two were called, to Haibu, which is highly intelligent bouncing observation unit. It's also a French word for horned owl, and the other one is simply called Owl, which is observation unit with intelligent wheel locomotion. So basically they're referencing the horned owl and a normal owl. The owl is connected to wisdom, and the owl is also connected to Minerva, the Roman goddess, and that is referenced in the iPad Go 2 video with the owl on the wall, one of the first images we see in the classroom when the video begins. Federal panel warns of national blackout in EMP attack. So a presidential panel on Thursday, 2 days ago, called for immediate attention to the imminent threat of national blackout, lasting possibly 6 months from a terrorist or solar attack on the nation's electric grid. The President's National Infrastructure Agency Advisory Council, approved a 94-page report detailing the potential challenges to the government and human life, and recommendations for a new focus on the threat made more likely by the development of electromagnetic pulse weapons by terrorist nations, including Iran. Now, it's no surprise that they're talking about EMP attacks. They have been for a while now, but over this last year, we see more and more reports coming out from more and more official agencies. And where we started off with the EMP Commission and Dr. Richard Pryor, now we're getting on to the presidential panel. So these are people that talk directly to the president. And obviously they're saying that it needs immediate attention. The threat is imminent. And if we're looking at the scenario connected with iPad Go 2, and we do believe it translates to this year, then there's not much of this year left. And there are some dates in this particular month that appear to be jumping out: the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd in particular, the 24th and the 25th, the 31st. I'll even say the 30th because I've had a couple of YouTubers point out the 30th. The 30th of December 2018 would be 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days after the iPet Goat 2 video was initially released on the 24th of June 2012, and that was pointed out by Vince Bruno and Robert Wissenbach, I think. Excuse me if I got your names wrong, but I'll highlight the 30th just for that significant point. The 31st obviously is New Year's Day, and if nothing happens in relation to the House Congress in Washington on the 23rd, then I'll be looking at the 31st or the 3rd of January for that sort of event to take place. And that's where I'll get back to the tsunami fish. Reappeared off the California coast. It's native to Asia, apparently brought over here on tsunami debris, and they're calling it the tsunami fish. And I can't emphasize enough how much it looks exactly like the fish from the iPet Goat 2 video. You guys, that's what I've got for you at the moment. I've got a couple more reports to get through. If there's anything really significant, I'll make another video and upload it. At the moment, we're just watching and waiting. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.